What is going on? What is happening? You see it. We are back. Thank you for tuning in to the NBA Report. I'm your man, Ron. I'm rocking it solo, holding it down on the ones and twos, rocking you. Let's go. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing good. Another great, Thursday night. These NBA playoffs have been very interesting, man. I just, I'm excited because there's so many variables and weird things that are happening that, we're just not used to. Like last few years, I can't say it enough. Like we kind of knew what to expect, what was going to happen, who was going to be there in the end. We really don't know this year. Like there's so much going on in the East. There's so much going on in the West. You don't know. Could be the changing of the guard, and we definitely see so far. The Knicks and Miami are going to be fighting it out in their series, right? We see that it looks like Boston and Philadelphia are going to be fighting it out in their series, right? What else? And sorry, I got this little. I got the game on the left of me here on silent. Well, it hasn't started yet, but they're doing the NBA countdown stuff, so might be a little glare. You know what? In the meantime, let me just cut that off. All right, so we know that that's going to be a war. They're going to keep going back and forth, so that's interesting, right? Then you got I would say LA and Golden State are going to go back and forth as well. I mean, it only seems right. I don't see how it can't be that way. You know what I mean? They're two very good teams. I could see them going back and forth, right? And then you got the Nuggets and the Suns. And right now, it doesn't look like that series is going to go too long, only because the Nuggets have a nice 2-0 lead. And Chris Paul is hurt, so that's going to make things very tough for Phoenix. All right, man. Well, we'll talk about it. And kind of take a look at these four series and see what's going on in each of them, see where we're at. We'll reach out to you guys and see what you guys are talking about in the chat. Questions, anything you guys want to talk about, any things you want to bring up. We'll take care of that tonight. We'll answer these things and we'll find out what's going on. And then to round it all off, of course, we'll talk about our New York Knicks versus the Miami Heat, how that series is going, and what to expect in the next game on Saturday, I believe. So yeah, definitely dope time, man. Dope time. Let's see. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for being here and rocking. David L., I see you. Geraldine McIver, the first lady of Still Knicks fans and the Knicks community, is in the building. Let's go. Manny is in the building. Salute. Appreciate you. Deron Wayne is here. Margaret Edwards is here. What's going on, Margaret? Good to see you. Travel Vibes is in the building. Dripmore, the preferred barber of Still Knicks fans and the Knicks community, is here. Salute to you, my brother. Ron Duffney is in the building. Salute. What's going on, Ron? This might be your first time in the NBA Report chat. You're probably a long-time viewer of, Nothing But Knicks. But, if this is your first time in the chat here, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah. And also shout out to all of those who may be watching but don't feel like getting their fingers typing in the chat. Appreciate you guys as well. Okay. So we will see. Let me see something. When's the next one? Oh, okay. So it's not. I don't know why I thought. Confused. Let me just double check this real quick. Let me just see this real quick, guys, because for whatever reason, I don't know why I was thinking Saturday. I'm bugging out. I'm tripping. No, it is Saturday. I'm not bugging. Good. All right. So next game is Saturday for the New York Knicks at 3:30. Okay, cool. We're on the same page. Just double checking. Anyway, all right, guys. Oh, salute to I am Jarrell in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Hope you are doing well. Thank you. Well, I had to wear the hat. There's some things moving around, moving about. We signing sexy Dexy. Pause for any pause people out there. Dexter Lawrence signed a nice little contract, making him a little 90 million richer, third highest paid defensive end in the league. Let's go, G-men. The Giants are trying to lock our guys down. They're still working on negotiating a contract with Saquon Barkley. Hopefully they can get that taken care of. They picked up the option for our star offensive lineman. What else? What else did they do? I think that's it for now. Excuse me. And so, that's going on with the New York Giants. And hopefully, we continue to make some good moves on that end. But back to basketball. So, guys, I guess let's tackle, the Boston Philadelphia series right now and kind of, George Jones said, "Good pause." Thank you. Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah. Yeah, let's tackle this Boston 76er series because how you guys feel about what's going on? Oh, and shout out to George Jones. Thank you for being in the chat, by the way. Appreciate you. What do you guys feel about Boston, man, and Jason Tatum and how they rocking out there? Because I got to tell you, I don't know, man. I don't know. The first game they had, the 76ers went crazy. They didn't have Joel Embiid, but they didn't miss a beat. You had five guys in double figures, led by James Harden, who had 45 points and 6 assists. Tyrese Maxey had a good game, 26 points in that game. And then in that game, Jason Tatum had a phenomenal game, 39 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Jaylen Brown chipped in with 23, 6 and 4. And they wound up losing that game, 119 to 115. But it was a good game. It was a game that they had a chance to win, but certain things didn't break the way you would like them to break if you're Boston. So, that's what happens, right? But then some weird stuff. Then you go into game 2. And in game 2, Philadelphia gets Joel Embiid back, right? And they struggle mightily. James Harden has 12 points after having 45 in game 1. Maxey had 13. Joel Embiid struggled. He'd had 15. And Tobias Harris was kind of right around what he did in game 1. He had 18 in game 1, 16 in game 2. So he played the same pretty much. But these other guys struggled, right? And then you look at Boston. Jason Tatum had 7 points. Yet they blew the Sixers out 121 to 87. Go figure. I don't even understand that. It's the craziest thing ever. But, what I will say that did happen is Jaylen Brown played. He played his game. He had 25 points. Derek White chipped in with 15. Marcus Smart had 15. Malcolm Brogdon had 23, and Grant Williams had 12. So other guys stepped up, but just the fact that they were able to blow the Sixers out by that wide of a margin, and Jason Tatum had 7 points, is interesting. Now, mind you, Tatum didn't go crazy though either. He only took 7 shots. So I guess he saw that he didn't really have it, but it didn't really matter. Guys were going crazy on Boston. They put up a nice crooked number. So, it is what it is. It's just interesting. It's weird to look at. What do you guys think about where this series is going right now? And who do you think is really going to come out of this series on top? Because I got to tell you, when I look at both these teams, I think they play each other well. I know that blowout doesn't look like they play each other well, but that blowout is weird. I don't know. That's a weird blowout. And I wouldn't, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't put my money on that happening again. People really struggled on the Philadelphia side, like to a fault. And not that, to take away anything from Boston's defense, because they obviously stepped up, but it's a combination of good defense and poor shooting on Philadelphia's part. So I really still think this is anybody's series. I don't know who's going to come out of there. I know Boston would be looked at as the favorites, but Philadelphia is right there with them. And I tell you, having a healthy Joel Embiid, because he's not really healthy, but having a healthy Joel Embiid who can dominate and at his position makes it really difficult for Boston to win. Problem is, Embiid's kind of hobbling. He's struggling on a bum knee. So that could be injuries. Definitely could be the Achilles heel for all of these teams in the playoffs. Like injuries are really making a difference in this 2023 playoffs, without a doubt. Let's see here. Okay, Mega NYK is in the building. Salute, Mega. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Always nice to see you in the chat, my brother. David L says no more Embiid. Okay, well, that could be the case. Yeah, and he says Boston got it. Okay, Margaret says she thinks Boston got it. You guys both might be right, man. I think the way it's leaning with the fact that Embiid is hobbled once again. Another playoffs where Embiid is dealing with some type of significant injury, and significant. I mean, because last year he wound up playing in the end, but it was a significant injury at the moment. So still, it just he can't play healthy in the playoffs. He gets banged up at the most inopportune time. It's tough. It's tough. That guy, and that's something to think about for a team going forward. If you are inquiring about Embiid's services for your team in the future, the guy has a lot of health concerns that just creep up, man. Something to think about. Margaret Edwards says the Bucks should not fire their head coach. He is a good coach. His brother died in a car crash. To me, they are heartless. Yeah, this was rough. Let me tell you something. This was rough. When I saw it, the first thing I thought was, man, he lost his brother throughout this whole, regular in the regular season playoff, beginning of the playoffs type. That's like, oof, that is rough, man. And it's not like you can't. Let me tell you something. Giannis got hurt, right? The Bucks have a game plan of how they play basketball. They play it the same way every game. I mean, they switch things up, but this is who the Bucks are. You're gonna scapegoat Budenholzer like it's his fault that all of a sudden Giannis got hurt and he didn't play. The team didn't play. The way they were playing in the regular season, and different things happen, and so he's got to be the fall guy with everything going on and with him losing his brother. Let me tell you guys something right now, and I don't want to be too crazy about it, but I just think that Boston franchise is a little cutthroat with how they do business when it comes to some players. I mean, don't. I mean, I'm sorry, Boston. I meant Milwaukee. I apologize. I'm still thinking about Boston. Because there's been players in the past, back in the day before I even knew too much about basketball, that Milwaukee moved on from that fan base was heard about. it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. It just, that's tough though. That is tough. But we've seen it happen before. Maybe not with a coach, but with a player. Look what happened with who's the guy? Isaiah Thomas. Remember Isaiah Thomas lost his sister, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Not the Detroit Isaiah Thomas guys, the one from Boston, the short lefty point guard. Remember he lost his sister and he had a terrible time and he gave his all for Boston and carried them throughout the regular season. They got into the playoffs and I think they got that. I think they made it into the playoffs and he got knocked out in that first round or so. If I'm not, I don't remember quite frankly, but he had a good run and he played his heart out that whole year. And then they let him go the next year. You know what I mean? It is, that's just professional sports. I guess it can be cutthroat. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Shout out to Il Maddox in the building. Salute, appreciate you. Good to see you. Yeah, Georgia, harsh business. Facts. It's like that, man. It's like that. What's going on? The Queen is in the building. What's happening, Steph? Good to see you as always. Appreciate you. Kerry Cox is in the building. He says, I'm hearing management did it in person or they didn't do it in person. Let me know what you mean, Kerry. I appreciate you. Thank you for being in the chat, my brother. Oh, I got you. I see it in your next comment. He said the Bucks GM was having issues with him. Well, damn. I mean, I get it, but this is a tough time, man. I mean, even if you want to let him go, well, I get it because if you're trying to let him go, right, you want to have the time to vet and get the proper candidate. You want to make your intentions known, right? So that other possible candidates could look at you as a destination as well. And you want the process to start because it takes, time to vet. And then also you want to get the person in here so they can have time to really start cultivating, getting to know the players and all that good stuff. I get all that. But this is a tough time. Like they just got knocked out the playoffs. You couldn't give Budenholzer, until the NBA season is over. Like, damn, sheesh, wow. I mean, that's rough. I mean, I don't know what type of guy Butenholzer is, but he must have done something to get him to ruffle some feathers over there. I mean, you lost your brother, and you won a championship, and they got you out of there first plane smoking. That's tough. That is tough. Yeah. Travel Vibe says that's how it goes. Coaches are always the scapegoats. Even players will quit on coaches to get them fired. That's a fact. 100%. You ain't lying about that. This is very true. That's what happens. That's the business. And that happens in all sports. So yeah, it's crazy. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep my eye on this Boston Philadelphia series and see if I can catch some of the games here and there. As long as it doesn't, you know, conflict with anything else I got going on. I'm gonna try to start getting into watching more of the games because it's kind of now we're into 4 series. It's a little smaller, can pay attention a little bit more. I'm excited and waiting to see what happens with the Lakers and Golden State tonight. So I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, so we'll see. All right, so we're gonna skip over the next Eastern Conference matchup. And head straight to the West, and then we'll come back to talk about the Knicks in Miami. But one thing I will say before we move on, are you guys concerned at all about Jason Tatum? I know he got busy in that first game, but it's just something about Jason Tatum going quiet in the playoffs that it's a little concerning. I mean, I know I'm saying this, but I do know that even though he only has 7 points, I mean, he only took 7 shots, so he shut it down at a point. He only played 19 minutes. And am I reading too much into it, or because last year he really struggled at points? So could some of this be coming back, or is it just one of those? It's an aberration game, like whatever. It's a one off. What do you guys think about that? Um, so let's take a look at what's going on in the Western Conference. Yeah, I guess we'll tackle this Phoenix Suns Denver Nuggets series. Yeah, well, I don't know. That's a tough one, man. I don't know what can you really say. Denver is playing incredible basketball. They've got on a nice run going into the playoffs, and they've continued with that run. Um, some people say the MVP of the league resides in Denver because Jokic has just been balling out all year. He's just so consistent. He just does it every game in and game out. Even his bad games are good games for other people. Like, you know what I mean? He's just so consistent. And then when he's really on, he's ridiculous. So, but I will say that Joel Embiid definitely was in contention to win the MVP this year. And did he deserve it? Maybe. I don't know. Like this is the problem when you don't get the voting right. You know what I mean? This is why you've developed this problem. Jokic probably should have won that award this year. Last year, Jokic probably should have won that award. The year before that, Joel Embiid should have won that award, but they jerked him. Okay, he didn't get it, and they gave it to Jokic. And now you set it up that last year it was like indisputable. Jokic ran away with that award, so he deserved it. So he got it 2 years in a row. And then when you look at this year, Joel Embiid's numbers looked good. He played really well, and definitely, it's like neck and neck for it. But Jokic played, I think, that much better, and I think he deserved the award over him. But this was a do-over. This was we messed you up 3 years ago. You should have got it then. We gave it to Jokic. So now we're gonna take it away from Jokic and give it to you this year. This was the Oscars. This was Black Oscars, guys. This was Denzel Washington for training day. That's what just happened. So shout out to Joel Embiid. You know what? He got it. I don't think he deserved it this year. He should have got it 3 years ago, but it is what it is. But getting into the series, I don't know, man. I mean, the first game was not a great look for Phoenix. They didn't play their best basketball. Kevin Durant contributed, and Booker had a good game, but Kevin Durant also had 7 turnovers. They played sloppy basketball in that game, and they deserved to lose. But then you go into game two and you're like, oh, it's only game one. But you go into game two, and now Denver is still like, and plus Murray balled out in game one. So that made it tough. But then you go into game two, and they've kind of calmed everything down. They slowed down the 3-point shooting for Denver. However, Jokic still had a great game. But then also the 3-point shooting for Phoenix calmed down tremendously too. They struggled in game two, and then Chris Paul gets hurt. Like it's one thing after another. I feel so bad for Chris Paul sometimes because of the fact that I get the guy gives his all out there. He's been trying to get this championship. He's jumped all around. He's basically put him in the best possible positions to win a championship. The only thing he didn't do was go to Golden State, and he tried to go to the Lakers, and they rescinded the trade thanks to the NBA. But he's basically gone everywhere he could possibly go to get a championship, and it still hasn't worked out for him. So, and right now with this situation, with him being out and being a key piece with Phoenix, I don't know if they got enough to beat Denver. Denver's kind of tough, having a healthy Murray along with Jokic is trouble, because Murray just has those moments. He gets those bubble moments out of nowhere, and you can't like when he's on, you can't stop that. Like it's just too much to deal with. And it's the weirdest thing in the world that when a player gets hot, like they're unconscious and you can't do anything about it. But that's what happens. That's how it works. And that's the issue. I don't know. Phoenix doesn't have anything to deal with Jokic. I mean, if you start adding other people into the mix, they're at a disadvantage. What's going on with Phoenix's center? DeAndre Ayton. Now, see, this is when stuff comes back to bite you. I've said it many times in the past that when the Phoenix Suns were in the playoffs, they had an advantage. They had DeAndre Ayton that they could have funneled the ball to. They could have played inside out and used that to their advantage, especially last year. They didn't do it. Now they're in a matchup against Jokic. Ayton don't have no advantage. So now you can't use that to your advantage. And they're kind of stuck. They lose their best facilitator, a strong defender at the perimeter position, and another person who has a chance to get hot at times in Chris Paul. I don't know. I would say that the Michael Porter Jr. being healthy helps Denver, but he's not really doing that much. So this really comes down to Murray and Jokic, both those guys, and then you still got Contavious Caldwell Pope. Aaron Gordon has played well in both games. Um, and then you got nice guys, role players like Bruce Brown and Christian Braun, who have been great. Uh, just picking up the pieces, whatever the dirty work needs to be, and playing decent defense. I don't know, man. I don't think it looks good for Phoenix. Although I don't think Phoenix is going to get swept. I see Phoenix coming back and winning at least one game, possibly two. I think this series, even though it's the most like clear cut at the moment with them not I could see Phoenix winning two games and taking this to six. I could see it, but we'll see. Um, let me see. Illmatic said, "Okay, you were commenting on the Celtics." He said it's Brown's team. I hope not. I'm really hoping that Brown is disgruntled and likes the New York pizza. You know what I mean? But maybe that's wishful thinking. I mean, it's maybe a little bit too much right now. But we can hope. It's possible. I don't think they will, because I think if you got the best player in the league, that best player should be able to win you one game. All right. And it's not like he has nobody over there. I mean, it's still Durant and Booker. So you would think the combination of those two guys lighting it up, you could win one game. They can win one game, I think, easily. Those two could do it. But and they might be able to win two, like I said. But could they get swept? I could see it. If Denver wins this next game, I think that is going to deflate Kevin Durant, and he's going to be like, "Damn it, I'm back in this situation again." But we'll see. Management. Kerry Cox says management is scared they are going to lose Giannis in the free agency. They will get whomever Giannis wants. I believe that. Okay, I'm gonna save that David L for when we start talking about that series. Shout out to Dwayne Dennis in the building. Salute my brother. He says, I really hope the Warriors beat the Lakers tonight and the series. I'm not a LeBron fan. Yeah, yeah, me either. But I gotta tell you, part of me really would love for the Knicks to make it all the way to the promised land and have to go up against the Lakers. I mean, that would be, do you know how rewarding that would be if the Knicks got to get out of the East and face the Lakers in the NBA championship? The Knicks going against LeBron James, who spurned them so many times, who almost went to them again. I mean, we didn't know this, but apparently almost went to them again and chose not to. You know how rewarding and fulfilling it would be to have to play, that team in the finals and beat them? Oh, man. Whew. I mean, that's wishful thinking. I'm thinking too far ahead. I don't want to get too crazy with it, but I'm saying that would be a moment that I would be good, man. You couldn't talk to me for a minute. Like I'd have a couple years under my belt with that ammunition. Anyway, yep, that's very true, Margaret. Yeah, Jokic is inspiring. Drafted second round, he worked hard. Now he's a superstar going to the Hall of Fame. 100% facts. He's a beast. A beast. Um, Kerry Cox said, "This is a bit soon and off topic. Suns will lose again, but they run it back for a full season with KD. When they lose again next year, Devin Booker will sign here with the Knicks. Mark my words." Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Hmm. Hmm. It's interesting. I mean, if they happen, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad, Kerry, at all if that happened. Honestly, though, if you asked me what would I want, would I want Devin Booker or Jalen Brown? I'd probably take Jalen Brown first because of what he brings to the table and how he would fit with the Knicks unit. But if you're telling me Jalen Brown's not coming to New York, stop the pipe dream. It's over. Devin Booker wants in. Come on in, Devin Booker. That's how I got to look at it. But yeah, I would definitely want Jalen Brown first to see where that goes. If there's any teeth to it at all. But who knows? Who knows? Um, yeah, I agree. I mean, I like our team the way it is too, but I do kind of feel like at some point the Knicks are gonna load up on one more big name. I do feel like that. Sherwin, what's good? Appreciate you. Good to see you. He said, "Good night." Porter Jr. is steps away from Obi. He plays very little defense. Yeah, that's true. And there's always the injury concern because of the way his back is. But it's just wild because the guy has so much talent, and we really haven't, unfortunately, since that last time he got hurt. You guys notice he has not been the same since. He shows you a couple spurts of good play, but he hasn't, like, he was explosive before he got hurt that last time. He was doing some things out there, like, and we know how he played during that bubble time. Yeah, it's got to be hope, Sherwin. I gotta hope. That's all I got is hope and a dream. Ooh, interesting. Well, that may be true, Fabian Williams. Shout out to you. Appreciate you. You might be right. Giannis Giannis may be the best player in the league right now. At the point, it was Durant, but maybe you're right. Giannis may have surpassed him. At this moment, I know some people like surpassed him. He won a championship. He's been playing lights out. Yeah, but Durant was killing before. But it might be Giannis now. Craig is in the building. He said KD's going to be like, which team am I going to next? Facts. I wouldn't be surprised. I can't stand KD, but it is what it is. Good to see you, bro. That's true too. And if he would have done that, I would have respected him, Margaret. I would have at least respected him. But no, he's always been a follower. He's never been a leader, and he's never taken any team that he was in charge, was the man of outright to a championship and done anything with them. That's why he followed Steph Curry and Clay to Golden State after they beat them in the playoffs, which is one of the most, like, as a athlete who was competitive. I don't think most athletes respected him at that time. They may be cool about it now. Time has passed, but at the time that he did it, I think a lot of athletes were like, "Yo, why would you do that? These guys just beat you in the playoffs, and instead of you going back next year and trying to knock them off, you join them." I mean, there's that phrase: "If you can't beat them, join them." Uh, No one really does that though, but he was the first one to do it, at least that I know of. All right, let's see. Yeah, I mean that would be great. It would be a dream come true, Dwayne Dennis. But yeah, it's too far ahead. I don't want to worry about that. I'll worry about one series at a time. But that would be incredible. I might shed a tear. I might emotionally break down if that happened. Um, Not Zay's in the building. He said we need one more piece. Yeah, and we may need one more piece because honestly, the Knicks played really well down the stretch. We know they played good in the Cavaliers series. I don't want to say great because we didn't really play our best game. Like everybody didn't chip in, so we didn't play like typical Nick basketball. But it's tough because it's the playoffs, so it's hard to play the way you want to play. That's what teams are there to stop. But I think like if this continues where it's a tough and the Knicks really don't look like they can orchestrate their game the way they've been doing it, I think the front office is going to look at that like, we're close, but maybe we do need that one more piece. We'll see. Ashley Inc. is in the building. What's good, Wiz? Good to see you as always. Always a pleasure. He said Devin Booker is a bad man, but Jaylen Brown is a two-way beast. That's what I'm saying, bro. If Jaylen Brown couldn't even score inside, if all he could do was shoot a three, his value on defense is so impactful that I think the Knicks would get crazy with Jaylen Brown over here. But Devin Booker wouldn't be horrible. Just saying. I just think that Jaylen Brown is the better fit. But this is all pipe dreams, man. Boston ain't trying to let that dude go. As you could already see, he had 24 points or 20. Yeah, I think 24 or 26 in the first game. He had 24 or 26 in the second game. He's consistent. Whereas Tatum, I don't want to make a big deal about it, but you understand that there are some concerns about Tatum's consistency sometimes, especially when it matters in the playoffs. East Blue Drew is in the building. Salute. What's good? Good to see you. David L says RJ better not get traded. Never. I hear you, bro. I hear you. So, and that's the thing. Well, I think we kind of really already touched on Phoenix and Denver. So, and I already gave you my opinion on what I kind of think might happen in the series. So let's move on to that Lakers and Golden State series. We got a game on the docket tonight, which is game 2. Lakers lead the series 1-0. And I expect Golden State to come out guns blazing tonight. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I will tell you, man, if I'm LeBron and Anthony Davis, LeBron has probably got to be licking his lips. Once again, a pause moment, because he's saying, look at all this stuff that's opening up for me. Look at this. Look what's happening here. Phoenix, who could be a tough team, might be a little bit of a challenge. Chris Paul gets hurt. Denver is a team they might have to worry about. I mean, they're not done with Golden State, but I'm saying Denver got some interesting stuff over there. But I think the matchup between a healthy Anthony Davis and Jokic could be interesting, and the Lakers might still be able to hang around. So you never know. But then when they look at what's happening in the East, the Lakers might be like, man, we might be able to do this, guys. Listen, let's just keep plugging away, man. Every game you're going to see the best of LeBron. He's going to give his all or try to, because the season is almost over. He only has to do it for a little while longer. And with all these injuries and things happening and weird stuff, Giannis and the Bucks being out, LeBron might be like, we might have a shot here, guys. So listen, this is all, like I said, this is a crazy playoff year. It's wild stuff happening. David L says, I'm not paying 38 plus million a year for a second option. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Let's see. Jamal Murray, though. I hear you. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But getting back to this Lakers Golden State series. All right. So here's the thing. In the past, I would easily say Golden State is going to win this series. I can't say that now because I don't think I'm bugging. I feel like Golden State has lost a step, man. I've been feeling like this all year. And I know they've been dealing with injuries, but I haven't really been focusing on the injuries. I've been watching them more when everybody's healthy, which is not that many times, but I've been watching them when that's happening. and they just don't give me that same like that strike fear in your heart type thing that they had before. Like it was like unstoppable. Like they play solid defense, they're strong, they get after it, and then you can't stop them from three. And then when you overcommit on three, they just break you down and get into the paint, and you can't stop them. Like, I don't feel that way about Golden State anymore. I think they've kind of lost a step, and so the door is wide open. So I think if the Lakers stay healthy, they might be able to knock them off. I mean, listen, because LeBron is still he's a difference maker. And when he tastes, when he can taste that blood, like, oh, there's some weakness there. He goes after it. And I don't think he has a lot more of that in him, but this year he might have one more really strong run that he can put together. And the Warriors are just right there for the taking. They're just not the same. Draymond Green is not the same. Steph Curry is not. I don't want to say he's not the same, but he's definitely getting older, and it's just not like it's just not. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it with Steph, but it's not the way it was before. Now, granted, I do know he put up 50 in the last series. I'm not saying that it's not there. It's different now. I don't know what to say about it. And then Clay, you hit Clay's hit or miss. You're gonna get it or you're not gonna get it with Clay. Jordan Poole's another one. You never know what you're gonna get. In the last game, he played pretty good. I can't be mad at him. He stepped up. He just they just didn't win the game. But they had it. It could be the age. As I said before, I think the problem with Golden State is the age of their star players, right? And the young players are not ready to really contribute yet the way they need them to. So they're in between. They're missing something right now. East Blue Juice said Wiggins about to be saying ni hao. Oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, listen, you never know. You never know. But what do you guys think about what's your prediction for the Laker Golden State series? Who you think is going to come out of that series victorious? And then how many games you think it's going to be? Because I think that series is probably going to go 7. I think that's going to go 7. And I really don't know who will win it though. I could say the Lakers might want it more, which is weird to say, but I just feel like LeBron just knows that window is closing. Like this might be it. Could Steph Curry be saying the same thing? Possibly. But I definitely feel like LeBron is saying it because he looks at this team, damn, like they holding Anthony Davis together with band-aids. And he's like they got a guy with strings out there on the court with him. He's like a puppeteer. Oh man. It's tough. It's tough. Feel bad for him. He's a good player. It's tough. He's always getting hurt at inopportune times. We'll see. Okay, so David L says Lakers in 6. Okay. Margaret Edwards says I think the Lakers. East Blue Drew says I think I see it going 7. 7 is possible. Yeah, yeah. Margaret Edwards says LeBron is on a mission. I think so. I just feel like he sees like that window is almost shut. AD is yes, he is when he's healthy. He is. He's a really good player, one of the best in the league. Wiz says Lakers in 5. What? But likely 6. Wow, 5. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking Golden State is missing a step. I don't know about that, bro. Dwayne Dennis thinks the Warriors will still come out of that. Okay. Listen, that's the thing. The Warriors still can. If both teams are healthy, the Warriors can still beat them in a 7-game series or maybe less and come out victorious. But you always got to think about AD is like a walking is like Mr. Glass, B. Samuel L. Jackson over there. You don't know what is you don't know what's gonna happen. God forbid, I hope he's able to play throughout the whole playoffs healthy. I don't like seeing guys like that who constantly are injury prone not be able to play out their game. I want to see the best of a team when they got their players out there. Nobody wants to play a team that don't got their strength. And then it's always going to be the excuse, oh, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. That's why you won. Who wants that? It's not cool. Not cool. Um, Not Zay says, I got the Lakers. Okay. I know, man. That's what I'm saying the wrong way. I don't want to think about it, but you know how it is. It's always like that. East Blue Drew says Stephen Clay's still dangerous though, so don't be surprised. I'm not. That's the thing with that type of shooting that they got. Two of the best shooters in NBA history and one of the best shooters ever is on that team. So you know what I mean? Like Clay is one of the best shooters in history, and Steph might quite frankly be the best shooter ever. So when you got that and the way they shoot, like the quick release stuff, the running around and just pop, like it's tough, man. You know, that can go crazy. All right. So I think that's it, guys, for around the NBA with the playoff series. But you know, it should be very interesting to see what happens in the West and what happens in the Boston 76ers series. But now we got to talk about the other series, and that's the Miami versus the New York Knicks series. Oh boy, this is my first time being able to talk about the last game because I haven't had a show up until now. And I gotta tell you, I've said it on in the chat on other people's shows, but that game was so weird to watch. So weird. Shout out to I am Jarrell. I appreciate you, my brother, for looking out. You know what you did, and that's why you a stand-up dude, brother, always. Um, I just don't understand what I was watching. I was like, the Knicks looked all over the place. They looked like they couldn't get anything going, struggling on defense. It felt like they were struggling on offense. And then I look in the box score and like these dudes had not great. They had good games, like really good games. Very efficient too. Some of these guys. I was like, what? I was scratching my head, like, what am I what just happened here? I'm like, yo, I'm bugging. Because I felt honestly, I wasn't able to watch a lot of the first half, but I saw like, you know, maybe the end of the first half going into the second half, and then I saw the rest. But yeah, I'm like, from what I was watching, I was like, what is going on here? I'm like, I was nervous. I was telling people this is the most nervous I've been all year watching the Knicks. I actually can't remember the last time I got nervous watching a Knicks game. Like this had me nervous. It's like, what is going on here? What's happening to me? I was like, what's happening? Let's get this right. But yeah, the Knicks just didn't seem like they played good. Miami didn't have Jimmy Butler, but they played well as a team. Like I felt like they was like, you know what? This is what we can do. So let's hit them with our best shot. And we're just going to keep making it rain because they were making it rain. 49 threes attempted, I believe. Um, and let me just double check, make sure that's the number. I think that is the number. I think it was 49. Let's see here. Was it 49? Yep. 49 threes. I mean, gee, that is jacking it, man. Whew. Um, yeah, and that's oddly enough. So here's the thing. The Knicks still, to me, got to make some changes, man. They got to make some changes. They got to go out there and figure out a way to play a little better perimeter defense because Miami's been extremely hot. They weren't one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the NBA this year, but in these playoffs, they were number one. I don't know if they're still number one, but they were number one in the playoffs. That's crazy, right? So the Knicks got to do a better job of slowing them down. I think 17 for 49 for 34%. I'm not going to be mad at that. I can tolerate that. I would love them to push them even lower, but I can tolerate that. Um, but the thing that worries me is, right, they were 17 for 49. They were 44% from the field. They had hit 70% from the free throw line, right? But the Knicks were 16 of 40 from 3 and had for 40%. And we won 111 to 105. My concern is what if the Knicks, who are not a good 3-point shooting team, don't hit those threes? You got to be even better and more sound on defense. The Knicks got to find a way to really start slowing Miami down. All right. And one of the things that I am hoping for is that because Jimmy Butler's coming back, is that they figure out the best way to allow Jimmy Butler to get his attempts, right? Play him one on one, man. Stop with the doubling and don't help. The only person that should be in a position to help is a big that's down low, whether it be Mitch, whether it be Hartenstein, if Julius is down there, or if Obi's there cheating. It should be one of them that comes over to help, and let everybody else try to play straight up, and don't leave them 3-point shooters alone. Don't give Jimmy Butler the opportunity to move the ball around, pass, and put you at a bad spot, and then you're leaving because they move the ball, and then they get a wide open three. I don't know any other way. I mean, there might be other ways, but I can't think of any other way that it'll work where they can, slow down that 3-point shooting, um, and, you know, nullify the impact of Jimmy Butler. I don't know. I think that's what they should try to consider doing. Um, and I think maybe it could work. It's the same thing that I thought they should do against Cleveland with Mitchell Robinson, Donovan Mitchell. And they didn't even really need to do too much of that because the rest of the Cavs weren't really playing well. I mean, a couple of them stepped up, but which allowed the Knicks to kind of really freestyle and play different things. They could do different things and experiment. Um, let's see. Yep, appreciate you, brother. Sherwin said to all of you people who are daydreaming about Brown, is a max. He's a max over 47 million when he becomes a free agent. But guess what, Sherwin? If I was going to give somebody that type of money, it might be Brown. He's still a young player, and he's not a good defender. He's a lockdown defender, and he's a good offensive player. There's not too many of those in the league. I mean, he's like, dare I say it, Scottie Pippen-esque. Not too many of those type of guys out there. So to me, that makes more sense. I mean, damn it. What's his name? Why am I blanking on Zach LaVine makes like 40 million almost. And he will be making 40 million, if not next year, the year after. And then the next year he makes another, a couple million more. And I don't think Zach LaVine is, anywhere as good as Jaylen Brown. So, I mean, it is what it is. I get it, though. I hear what you're saying, but I also feel like if you're going after Jaylen Brown, you got to make a trade to get him because you ain't going to have enough money to sign him in free agency. So you kind of give up some of that money that's already on your books. And if you're telling me that the Knicks had most of their money tied up in Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, Jaylen Brown, I'm okay with that. Just me. When Draymond gets traded, KD going back to Golden State. Maybe. Could happen. Could happen. Dwayne Dennis says, it wasn't you, Ron. It was a tough game to watch, and I had to take several breaks from the action. It was rough. I'm glad I wasn't the only one. It definitely didn't feel right. That game was too much. Um, Old Head said, we can shoot better, Grimes and IQ. I agree. But, my whole thing that I keep wondering about is we keep saying the Knicks haven't played their best game yet, but it's the playoffs. And the team that we're playing is trying to do something to take something away from us. So who knows if we'll ever play our best game in these playoffs? And maybe they are thinking the same thing we might be thinking about their players. Like they might be saying, listen, don't let Grimes get going. Don't let Quickly get going. Leave it up to Julius, RJ, and Brunson. They might get theirs, but we know that, sometimes they're inconsistent. Sometimes Randall is spotty. Brunson's more consistent. But RJ's definitely shown inconsistency, although he's been pretty consistent the last 5-6 games, whatever it's been. As a team, maybe that's what they're thinking. So maybe they're like, you know what? We got to kind of slow down these other guys because if they get going, then we have a big problem, especially Quickly. But I really don't know what's going on with Quickly. Right now, I just think for Quickly, it's mental. He's got to slow it down. And I kind of also feel like maybe something's kind of happened with his mechanics. Like he's drifting a little bit on his shot. And, that's why he can't knock it down right now. And there's so much pressure and stuff going on that he just doesn't have enough time to correct it, or maybe he doesn't even see it. I don't know. But you would hope that he's watching the film and sees that he's drifting a little bit on the shot. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, I did start a couple things from before. David L had said, all we need is defense to recognize these Heat role player moves. We should be familiar with their game. Knicks clamping in game 3. I hope you're right. But I definitely feel like that could be the case. Yeah. Margaret Edwards said, Knicks need IQ, Grimes, and OB to step up. That's 100% true. Facts. Sherwin said, Knicks need IQ, Grimes, and Obi to step up. Obi is playing better than he did in the regular season. What do you want from him? What? Wait a minute. Hold on. Is Sherwin defending Obi? Guys, it's been a great show. I appreciate you coming. Thank you. This has been rotten. I'm like, what? Sherwin's defending Obi? What? Now I know I've seen everything. I know I have seen everything. Margaret Edwards says, Heat are a scrappy team. Knicks need everyone to play their best. This is the Knicks' chance to represent the East. I agree. They do need everyone. And we've been kind of skating by without getting everyone. We need everybody. Some guys need to step up. We need, it's going to help. It's, take a little pressure off too. We kind of, that game 2, we were tight. We were pressing. We got a little bit more comfortable in that second half, but it took a minute to get there. So we will definitely see. Old Head says Brown is 6'6". That's guard size. We need a 6'8", 6'10" wing. But he's 6'6", and he's a lockdown defender that can guard 1 through 4. That's like it's ideal to get somebody that's 6'8", right? But if you can't find it, you're gonna tell me that you're gonna go out there. Now, I don't want Miles Bridges. I know some people are starting to throw the Miles Bridges name out there. I don't like it. It's like the desperate thing. We're desperate for a 6'8", wing. We got to go get Miles Bridges. We don't got to go get Miles Bridges. But I get it. I understand. It's basketball, it's sports, it's business. You telling me you'd rather have Miles Bridges over Jaylen Brown? I don't think anybody would take that. You tell me you put Jaylen Brown and Miles Bridges in a competition together. See who comes out of there. I'm thinking Jaylen Brown's coming out of there. Miles might get his, but you know, Jalen can do some things on the defensive side. He's very aggressive. He's got a good wingspan. He's got good anticipation. He's got good footwork, good technique. He's tough. He's a lockdown type defender. Um, I just think that sometimes those 2 inches don't matter. Oh, all right. Don't read too much into that, guys, because I know you guys out there. But anyway, um, yeah, I just think that he'll be all right. I think we'd be fine if we got the 6'6" Jalen Brown. 6'8" is ideal. Yeah, I'm with you. But like my whole thing is how many 6'8" people out there are really a good look for the Knicks going forward. Like people keep saying Ingram. Ingram will be great, but Ingram don't stay healthy. Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges would be good, but he's no Jalen Brown. And he's got some other questionable stuff. I don't care what nobody says. That stuff follows you. But hey, it is what it is. Who else? Uh hmm, I don't know. Grant from Portland, maybe. Maybe. He's a good defender. And he can score a little bit too. He has his moments. Maybe. I mean, if the price tag's not too high. Yeah, it all depends. I'm open though. I'm open to suggestions. I still want to see where this Nick team goes though. How good can this Nick team be in these playoffs? And will guys have a moment where they do actually step up and start to find themselves? Because in the playoffs, a lot of guys are still question marks. In the regular season, towards the end, the last month or so of the season, they started to step up. You got to see these guys play much better basketball. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, My fault, Sherwin. I thought there was the glimmer of hope. He says, I'm just saying Obi is playing better in the playoffs. He's still not good. Okay. Well, thanks, Sherwin. Thanks for giving us a thought that maybe you were warming up to Obi. Uh yeah, Wiz said Jalen Brown would probably be a sign and trade, so we would have to give up pieces. I agree, we would. But let me tell you something. As much as I love this young Nick team and some of these guys, and I don't want to see them go. But if you told me that RJ had to go for Jalen Brown, if you told me that Quickly or Grimes would have to be in there too, if you told me that Obi would have to go in that trade, I'm okay. You tell me picks, either Quickly or Grimes, RJ and Obi, I would do the three and picks for Jalen Brown. I don't know if some people might say that's not enough, depending on how these trades work in the NBA these days, but I would do that. I would give them Obi, RJ Barrett, and either Quickly or Grimes. I'm not giving them both. I give them either or. Yeah, and some picks. How many? Don't know. But it's all, you know, hope. Nick's one today who says I want, and shout out to you. Thank you for being here. He says I want Mikal Bridges. I hear that. Yeah. I mean, Mikal would be nice too. I don't see Brooklyn letting him go, but I would be okay with that. If you tell me we can't get Jalen Brown, it's too much, or it's a pipe dream, he ain't going nowhere, or all these other guys that are big names, they're not really leaving. But if Mikal Bridges was available, yeah, I'd take him. Why not? Because we don't need someone that has to be the man. We just need someone that can give you moments. And McCall can give you moments. We've seen what he's been doing with Brooklyn, and he plays good defense. Jalen Brown, we know he can give you moments, and he plays great defense. Like guys like that, fine. And there may be another guy like what's his name, Trey Murphy the third. Maybe he's going to be another one of those same type of guys going forward. I don't see New Orleans letting him go, but I mean that's a question, guys. Damn, I don't want to get into that. I ain't trying to. That's a whole nother thing. I mean, I'm thinking, would y'all trade Obi Toppin and Maybe you wouldn't need that. No, no, no. Let me take that back. Well, no, maybe you would. Would you trade Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett to New Orleans for Trey Murphy the third and something else, of course? But remember, it's not like RJ Barrett and is not worth Trey Murphy the third by himself. It could be a one for one, but they're not. When you're trying to make a trade, it's not about one for ones. Like teams want something out of it, so sometimes you got to make it sweeter, and you also got to make the money match. So they got to the Knicks would have to take more back from them, of course, because RJ makes more money. But maybe they would want another young piece as well, and so would you trade OB and RJ for Trey Murphy the third and a couple other players and whatever? I don't know if they would even do that, but to reunite RJ with Zion, maybe they consider it. Maybe they want to keep him and make him happy, and maybe that would do it. It is no, and don't get me wrong, old head. I see you. No, it's definitely too much for Trey, but it wouldn't just be for Trey. Like the point is for the Knicks to get Trey, but you'd have to get other pieces back from New Orleans. No way. You could trade RJ for Trey one for one, and it's too much for Trey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hear you though. Sherwin said no. Wait, aren't you a person who loves Trey Murphy the third? So you wouldn't trade RJ? Are you saying that you are warming up to RJ again? Because you're big on RJ not playing great defense. So explain, Sherwin. Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. All right, I see. So you would trade IQ, OB, and a first, not RJ. Ah, wow. I guess because you feel like RJ, you need the scoring and the intangible stuff that he brings, even if his defense may suffer. He has his moments. I think that's what you're trying to tell me, Sherwin. Because why else would you want to keep him? Yeah, old head. I know that's what I'm saying. He's the type that you're talking about. I get it. It's those type of guys. It's them. It's him. The Mikal Bridges is Jalen Brown. Maybe a little smaller, but I hear you though. Those type of guys. I hear you. Margaret Edwards. Let's pray Knicks get to the finals. Team stay intact. Yeah, I know you want to keep this group of guys together. I know. I know. You've always said that. All right. Let's run this squad again, but add unrestricted free agent Miles, Grant, Kuzma, or restricted free agent Cam Johnson for 20 to 22 million 4 years. Dylan Brooks. Listen, look, I gotta tell you guys, man. I'm a big character guy. I'm sorry. I'm just how I wasn't always like that. I didn't care when I was younger. As I got older and I look at things and I look at life differently. Sorry, that's just who I am. I don't know about Miles Bridges, man. I don't know. I don't know. And the incident happened with someone very close to him. So I just I'll leave it at that. I ain't getting into that. But people understand that, if I do this, if I say this, or if I don't change what's going on, I'm gonna affect this guy's livelihood, which could affect me, especially if I'm still with him or around. You know what I mean? I, that's all I'm saying. I'm leaving it there. Um, and Dylan Brooks, nah, I think Dylan Brooks is a punk. Do I think that? See, my problem with Dylan Brooks is I know people are like, yo, he's a really good defender, and he's kind of getting like blackballed with everything that's going on. And the way Memphis is dealing with the situation is messed up. It probably is messed up, but I just think with the problem with Dylan Brooks is his game is regressing. His offensive game is not the same way it was before. Defensively, he's still a very solid defender. But I just think with the antics and all of the stuff that you got to deal with, he's just becoming a bigger headache. And some teams just trying to move away from that stuff. Like sometimes it's not even worth it. Say what you will about Draymond Green, but in Draymond Green's prime, he was a beast. He could score a little bit, hit some threes, take you down in the paint, get some easy opportunities, get and ones, go to the line, and he was a lockdown defender. So all them antics and stuff, he dealt with it because the dude was good. Dylan Brooks ain't giving me that same type of Draymond Green energy. I'm just saying. Just a thought. Just a thought. D51 Rock, what's going on? He said, "Stop undervolving RJ, please." So you want him included more? um, or you try? Oh, stop undervaluing RJ. Is that what you're trying to say? Maybe that's what you were trying to get at. My fault. Yeah, no one's undervaluing him. I already said that if you traded RJ to New Orleans, you would need more back. I think I said that already, but maybe you didn't hear it when I said it. But that's what I'm saying. If you had to, because and the reason why I say RJ, it's not that I want to get rid of RJ, but RJ makes a good amount of money. And when you're trying to acquire players, you got to try to get out. Let's try to say this slower. You got to try to get out from under some of these pricey contracts while you're doing it as well. Yeah. Yeah, and smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already. Please, appreciate you guys so much. Show your love for Still Nick fans and the NBK family. Nothing but Knicks Network. We appreciate you. Yeah. Sherwin says, "I believe in who he is. Without let him cast the first stone. We all make mistakes in life." When you say you believe in who he is, who are we talking about? Miles Bridges? Um, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know about that thing. I don't have a daughter and I don't have sisters, but it's something about hitting or doing things to women that I don't rock with. So I got it. Hey, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a job. Somebody's going to pick you up. Just I would rather it doesn't have to be the team that I root for. That's all. Nothing wrong with that. Even when the whole incident happened with shoot, I can't remember his name now. The running back from Baltimore Ravens with the incident in the elevator with his woman, um, which was horrible, by the way. But both parties may not have been totally innocent in that. They both may have contributed to that type of behavior and how their relationship was. And so he just got caught looking at the worst at that moment. And he really was. Do I think that he should have been blackballed and banned from the NFL? Excuse me. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he should have got a job somewhere else where he could have tried to work on rehabilitating himself and his life and using that money that he earns towards good counseling and working together with his woman. But that being said, I wouldn't have wanted him on the Giants. He can go somewhere else and rehabilitate. It's not with my team that I root for. I don't want to have to see him every day and think about, this dude on the team, his character, and if that was, someone close to me and how would I feel? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just how I feel. But everybody to each his own. You know what I mean? You're welcome to your own opinion. That's why we all have one, and I respect them all. All right. What time we got? All right. I'm gonna wrap up soon because I've been going for a bit. um David L says Kuzma is worth the look. Yeah, he's worth the look, but I guess it all depends. I wonder. I would have to. I'm gonna. Well, when we get into the off season, get into all that. I'll take a deeper dive into these guys and see how they stack up versus each other and their contributions to their teams. But if you're telling me that it's a choice between a Kuzma 28 million or Cam Johnson for like 22 million, without looking at the numbers and looking at the impact and how they actually played and the stuff that doesn't get quantified, I'm using a lot of big words. I don't know why. I would say that I might be leaning towards Cam Johnson if that's the case. But I don't know. He's not it's not ideal either. He's not my number one choice. But I do like Cam. And he's young. And we still don't know what he can turn into. That's right. Ray Rice. Thank you, old head. You're an old head, but your memory's better than mine. But appreciate you, brother. Paris, Doug is in the building. Salute, Paris. What's good? Uh, Paris is also on that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't change a thing. We just got to gain experience in the playoffs with our youth. I mean, listen, that may be what they choose to do in the end. It may be fine. The deeper this Knicks team goes in these playoffs, the better these young guys are going to look to the organization, and the more cachet they're going to have in the longevity of them staying here. It's not only going to affect how the organization looks at them going forward, it's also going to affect their bottom line, their bags. You know, Quickly is going to get paid if he steps up and starts to play like the Quickly we've seen. Grimes is definitely going to make a case that 2 years from now, when he's up to get paid, they're going to look at him and say, okay, we value you. How can we make this work? You know, we'll see. Sherwin, I appreciate that, man, but that means nothing to me. It's my opinion. My opinion doesn't have to be based on anything. I threw it out there because I feel like sharing it, but I don't have to share it. And you don't have to agree with it, just like I don't have to agree with your opinion. But I'm not saying you're wrong. You're entitled to it. It's just the point that, as I said, there's teams that have the infrastructure and have the ability to take on troubled souls, right? Souls that maybe need another look. That's why they exist. That's why those teams are out there. There's organizations that say, "Hey, we can bring him over here. We know what to do with him. We can get him right. We got the infrastructure over here. We got solid veteran leadership on our team. We've got good personnel. We've got a great treatment staff that can deal with him and help him through things. And we also have the resources and the people available to help monitor what's going on with him. So if he has a moment where he needs help, we can step in. You need all of that when you're dealing with troubled players, okay? And if you don't think you do, then you're sorely mistaken. That's part of the problem. That's the reason why these troubled players don't get better. That's the reason why the Antonio Browns is of the world steady decline and get worse when they have all types of opportunities. Tom Brady took this guy in, himself personally, and thought that was going to help the situation. Sometimes you need more. Sometimes you need more. But whatever. Like, I'm no mental health guru or no mental health expert. I'm not trying to be. I'm not getting into all that. I'm just telling you, me personally, I like having high character guys on the teams that I root for. I like the way my New York Mets are currently situated. I don't know about everybody's dirt. There could be some skeletons in the closets, but I don't know about them. It is what it is. I like the way the Knicks are situated currently, even though we know Julius has some anger issues and some stuff he's working through. That's fine. That's okay. We can deal with it. Just like my Giants. There might be some guys that got some issues there. I don't know about it. As long as it's not on surface. Like, even Odell Beckham Jr. was a nightmare, a headache. Always doing something, banging his head on the sidelines and the thing, goalpost, always drawing attention to himself. However, you can tolerate it when he's just hurting himself. He's not hurting others or putting other people in, bad positions. You know what I mean? I just look at things differently. Ben Roethlisberger is from all people and a lot of parties involved say he's a dirtbag. I don't know him personally. That's what they say. Would I want him as my quarterback? No. I'm happy. I was happy with my Eli. Okay. That's all I'm trying to say. That's just me. That's it. Nothing wrong with it. Well, you're right, Sherwin. The man made one mistake, but we don't know the full extent of that mistake. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Everybody thinks they know the whole story. And I'm telling you, you don't know the whole story. And I'm not saying I do. Just saying there's more than meets the eye. Transformers? What's that? There's more out there. It's all I'm trying to tell you. Stuff has been quickly moved on from. They've gotten that story up out of here. There's more to that story. All right, I'm done. I'm not going to get into it. I said I wasn't going to get into it. Moved on. All right, whatever. Good for him. Hopefully he gets a second chance. All right, guys. Well, listen, man. How do you guys feel now that the Knicks haven't played their best game? It's 1-1. We're going into Miami, which some might say is another home game for the Knicks. We'll see. How do you guys feel about the rest of the series? Do you think we can take game 3, or are you concerned that if Jimmy Butler comes back, it might look more like game 1? What's your thoughts? Marvid Eladiv, Eladiv. I hope I said that right. I think I butchered it. So I'm just going to go with the first. Marvid. The Bucks fire coach Budenholzer after early playoff exit. Adrian Wojnarowski says the Bucks are ready to hit the reset button after firing coach. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. It's kind of shocking, Marvin. Yeah, wasn't expecting that. I'm mad we didn't get Hachimura too, David L. I think he would have been a nice piece. Old head said Jeremy Grant is a win now piece. Yeah, I think we're getting close to that win now action. We're not there yet, but after this playoff run, depending on how deep it is, I think next year we'll definitely be in win now mode. That's the thing, old head. That's the question I've always been asking myself. Does Kuzma play defense? Because I'm not sure. I know Jeremy Grant does. Yes, I agree with you. I don't know about Kuzma. And to me, the thing about Kuzma is like I don't like I think Kuzma sometimes gets a little too full with himself. And he's just worried about playing basketball, man. He's still got so much, he's still very young, got so much to achieve and so much to get going in this league. He's doing a little too much talking right now. Just let your game speak for itself, man. You know, whatever. Cam Johnson is a bench player. That may be true, Margaret. You may be right about that. Sherwin believes Cam is a 4, not a 3. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Um, yeah, no, I know it's crazy. Crazy. But yeah, but I want to thank you guys once again for being here and rocking with me in the chat. And hopefully, I try to keep it as basketball oriented as possible. I don't want to get into too many um, you know, sensitive topics and subjects. It's life, it's sports, and sports is life. And stuff happens, but you know what I mean? Like everybody's got different opinions. And I listen, you know, I don't condemn anybody. I'm not perfect. I'm just telling you, me personally, I would probably want to stay away from, putting bad or questionable character guys on this current Nick team. Yeah, right now, because I think they got something good going. And I think when you do something like that, you have a chance. It may work out beautifully, but you got a chance to mess up the chemistry. Everything's going good. You already know the character of these guys. The team has been a lot of these guys have been playing together for 3 years. Like, why, go totally left now? That's all I'm saying. But I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for rocking with me. And we'll see, man. We'll see. The Knicks play the Miami Heat this Saturday at 3:30 in Miami. It's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be another tough game. As I said before, when we talked about the Knicks in Miami, you cannot shortchange what Miami is in the playoffs. Like I know in the regular season they didn't look that great. They had moments where okay, they're not that good. But in the playoffs, when you're there and you have something to play for, and all you got to do is try to win 4 games and get advance to the next series. It changes teams. Like they know it's like they have something. It's new life. It's a new life. It's like a do over. Um, yeah. So I think they're gonna win on Saturday, and I'm predicting they're going to try to. I hope they try to guard Jimmy Butler straight up with a little help over from the bigs and possibly the power forward stepping up to help at some points. But I hope the guards stay home and protect that perimeter. I and also hope that Thibodeau gives Deuce McBride some minutes to see how he can affect these guys on the defensive end when they're shooting those threes. Depending on how the game goes, if Miami comes in, they look like they're shooting lights out in that first quarter. Tibbs better, Deuce, get ready. He better look over the Deuce. I'm just telling you, because if he lets this go and they light us up all game and he don't make an adjustment, and Deuce is sitting there, I am going to be hot. I'm telling you right now. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, it's been a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you guys for tuning in and rocking with me. Smash that like button on your way out. As I always say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still, Knicks fans, we'll be back again, whether it be on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. for the NBA report on NBK, or on Saturdays with yours truly for Know the Ledge at 11 a.m. And you get to see us once again on Monday nights for SKF Weekly with myself and my brother John. Well, we will be recapping and breaking down what took place in the previous week. Thank you guys once again to the chat. I appreciate you rocking with me, especially when when you see me here and I don't have John with me and I'm talking about myself. You guys and the interaction that you're giving me in the chat is definitely helping and making the show go better. And it allows me to really kind of connect with y'all, to go back and get the questions and stuff that you want to talk about. So I definitely love when you guys are interactive in the chat. I appreciate you guys 100%. Thank you for always being there and rocking with us. Yeah. That's pretty much it, man. That's all I got. I'm hoping for the best. Right now, I think the game, let's see what we're talking about. See what it looks like. So the Lakers are up 24-19 and 2 minutes left, 2 minutes and a half left in the first quarter. All right. So, I think I'm going to take a look at this and see how this game finishes up, man. But it's been great. I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of your evening. I think Steph is on right now. So if you want to continue to talk Knicks, go on over and check out Steph's show. I think she's talking about them now. So I appreciate you guys once again, man. Take care. Have a great rest of your night. We'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully these Knickerbockers win that game on Saturday. But I'm going to be on at 11 on Saturday to talk about them. So we'll see what happens. Take care. Run that